Hi, everyone. My name is Alyssa. I use she, her pronouns, and I am your host for today. Today, we have Caverly Morgan, who is the founder of Presence Collective in Peace in Schools. If you'd like to learn more about her and her nonprofits, you can go to caverlymorgan.org. This is the last week that we are doing these Sangha live calls. We're taking a summer break. This Friday is the last day. She will be guiding us through a guided meditation, about half an hour. And if there's time at the end, we'll be doing a Q&A. So at that time, if you have a question, you can use the Ask a Question button below or use the chat box to request to come on screen, and then I can bring you on screen. Before I bring Caverly on screen today, I have a few announcements. First, thank you to Sangha Live for being this platform. If Sangha Live is run by donations from all of you, so if you have the means, you can use the green button below to make a donation today. And some announcements on behalf of Presence Collective. This Saturday, July 11th, Caverly is doing a book reading. She just launched a book called A Kid's Book About Mindfulness. It's a kid's book that is for ages 9 and up, but it's suitable for all ages, above that, adults as well. And she's doing a book reading through Sangha Live. That is also donation-based. Caverly does these Wednesday night classes, 7 p.m. PST, and because of all of you in different time zones, she decided to start a Tuesday and Thursday morning group that starts in September at 9 a.m. PST. We'll be having a touch-in on August 4th, Tuesday, August 4th, as kind of like so that we don't have to wait so long to do the September classes, but we'll be starting those. Tomorrow, Caverly is speaking through Insight Meditation Community of Charlottesville. She's doing a meditation and talk that is at 7 p.m. EST, and she's also doing a retreat through them in September. Last but not least, Caverly and a few other Presence Collect teachers are doing a retreat day. It's called Caucus to Collectivity, Dismantling Racism from a White Identified Perspective. I'm going to be including all of these links in the chat box. Now I'm going to bring Caverly on screen.
Alyssa, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, friends, good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm so happy to be here with you. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Hi, Kiki, John and Nancy, Charlie, Rosalind, Maria from Sweden. Thanks for showing up, friends. Hi, Ellen. So I did come in with a poem today. Sweet yesterday to go through my collection and find one that felt like a good fit. Just want to underline something that Alyssa just mentioned. Oops, I'm getting all these pop-ups. Hang on just a moment, friends. Close, quit. Okay. Just wanted to mention something, to underline something. Oh, thank you, John and Nancy. Yes, fresh flowers for you all today. So the tall ones, that's foxglove. And then this is a little volunteer sunflower from our yard. We were feeding the birds, and then it was really sweet that some sunflowers showed up. And then this is the most lovely fragrant rose. It's for those of you who grow roses, it's called Sugar Moon. And it is just like what it does to this meditation room is divine. This lovely, lovely smell. So yeah, thanks for asking. And Richard Brandt is often on these calls. I don't know if you're here today, Richard, but that's a Richard Brandt vase. And then this is a loved one. Terry Guess is a potter in North Carolina, and that's a Terry Guess. So hello from these flowers. Hello from these artists. Hello from Portland. I wanted to underline, thank you for posting it, Alyssa, that if you're not on our mailing list, I will spend the next couple days just reminding you to please do join it, because that's how we can stay in touch with those who have been part of this Sangha Live experience. Thank you. Many of you are already on the mailing list, but if you haven't gotten an email from us yet, then you're not, because we do send out about one a week. This week we're going to send a few more, and that's because I'm just delighted to report that we'll be making the Presence Collective website live, making a big announcement about that. All right, Nikki, hello, good morning. I imagine you're in the UK. Friends, again, thank you. So as mentioned, I brought a poem today. And before we begin, I'd like to invite you to set everything aside and spend a moment listening to the body. Carolyn, aware of such energy in legs and belly today, especially after watching the SAND conference video on your page from 2019. Thank you, Carolyn. I've had the great good fortune of presenting at SAND many times, actually. So I'm trying to think of which one would have been 2019. Perhaps the panel. Perhaps you just saw the panel. Thank you for letting me know. Speaking of SAND, I don't think it's on our announcement list yet because we haven't finished the write-up, but on August 1st, I will be in conversation with the founders of SAND, the Science and Non-Duality Conference. I will be in conversation with them. I'm honored that they asked me. Good, Carolyn, thank you. I'm honored that the founders of SAND asked me to be in a community conversation with them about white privilege and non-duality. It is bound to be an engaging conversation, especially because it's not a topic they usually address through that community. So again, if you're on our mailing list, you'll get details once those details are available. Very, very much looking forward to that. And I'd love to have your participation. It will be a audience participation kind of experience. So tend to the body by closing the eyes, if you're comfortable with that, and noticing what's alive for you in the body right now. And take 3 of the longest and deepest inhalations and exhalations you've taken yet today. And as you settle in, notice whether there's any part of the body that's calling your attention. Thank you, Maria. Just noticing some contraction and sadness underneath that. Lovely. So pausing just to see what's here now. We've really established a pattern of showing up, listening, seeing, naming, welcoming, just as a foundation. Again, thank you for your practice, for being here, for your commitment. This poem is by D.H. Lawrence. Song of a Man Who Has Come Through. Not I, but the wind that blows through me. A fine wind is blowing, the new direction of time. If only I let it bear me, carry me, if only I let it carry me. If only I am sensitive, subtle, oh, delicate, a winged gift. If only, most lovely of all, I yield myself and am borrowed by the fine, fine wind that takes its course through the chaos of the world like a fine and exquisite chisel, a wedge blade inserted. If only I am keen and hard like the sheer tip of a wedge, driven by invisible blows, the rock will split. We shall come at the wonder. We shall find the Hesperides. Oh, for the wonder that bubbles into my soul. I would be a good fountain, a good wellhead, would blur no whisper, spoil no expression. What is the knocking? What is the knocking at the door in the night? Is it somebody wants to do us harm? No. No, it is three strange angels. Admit them. Admit them. Song of a Man Who Has Come Through. Not I, but the wind that blows through me. A fine wind is blowing the new direction of time. If only I let it bear me, carry me, if only it carry me. If only I am sensitive, subtle, oh, delicate, a winged gift. If only, most lovely of all, I yield myself and am borrowed by the fine, fine wind that takes its course through the chaos of the world, like a fine and exquisite chisel, a wedge blade inserted. If only I am keen and hard like the sheer tip of a wedge, driven by invisible blows, the rock will split. We shall come at the wonder. We shall find the Hesperides. Oh, for the wonder that bubbles into my soul. I would be a good fountain, a good wellhead, would blur no whisper, spoil no expression. What is the knocking? What is the knocking at the door in the night? Is it somebody wants to do us harm? No. No, it is the three strange angels. Admit them. Admit them. Dear friends, what is knocking at the door? What is knocking at the door of your being today? Calling to be admitted. What knocks that you may be conditioned to assume is full of malice or the capacity to cause harm? What shifts when you recognize the hidden angels of your life? What shifts when you admit them? Admit them. How might you allow yourself to be borrowed by the fine wind that takes its course through the chaos of the world? And to touch the wonder that bubbles in the soul. The wonder that bubbles no matter the intensity of the chaos of the world. Blurring no whispers and spoiling no expressions. Inviting, admitting all expression of being. Trusting all expression of being. Being all expression of being. Being all expression of being. Thank you, friends. Thank you for your presence. I'd love to hear from you today. Love to have an exchange with you, whomever feels up for it, before we go into that. So please, if you're new today, just write in the sidebar if you'd like to come on screen and have a chat. And if that's just to acknowledge, if you're new, that's how you let Alyssa know that you'd like to come on screen. This is wide open. Anyone that would like to come on, please, let's have a chat. Before we move into that, let's close out these morning sessions with Sangha Live with the greatest expression of gratitude that we can offer. So if you can donate, please do. Friends, what shall we discuss this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening? What's alive for you? Charlie, thanks for acknowledging with the poem Goosebumps. Perhaps we could begin today's discussion with a word or phrase, anything that you're noticing. Maria, I'm delighted to hear you'd like to come on. Lovely. It's always a treat to see you. Alyssa, if you could bring on Maria, that would be great. And then, yes, friends, a word or phrase, anything you're present to in the sidebar, please take note. Maria in Sweden.
Let's see if I can put this thing there. No, I cannot. I have to hold it. It's my iPhone, so I can't really do it like,
No problem.
Oh, Caverly, long time no see.
Long time no see. I'm delighted to see you again, Maria.
I took a break all of June,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm happy that I reunited at the end here of your sessions.
Me too.
I was very, I had these butterflies in my stomach to come on screen today because I've actually been crying during most of this meditation.
Mm.
And it's like, I feel like I'm very confronted with any tendency to, identify. And it's like, I feel like, God, I don't know if I can do it, It was coming very deep from inside, like really wanting to cry out, help. It's like I feel or see and feel rather clearly how I get wrapped up in the mind. And even though I can remind myself to come back to the heart, I feel like, can I really live this truth? Am I able to live this truth? Can I be that clear of all the dependencies or needs? I don't know.
What do you notice in this moment about that question? Can I live this truth? What seems true to you about the question, can I live this truth?
It's interesting because once I name it aloud, it's quite different.
Yeah.
It's
What's
already different. Yeah, I don't know. It's like
what,
when it's only inside, it gets more reality to it. And when I name it, I already feel like that creates more space.
you have some distance by naming it. Would
Yeah.
you say, Maria, when it's inside, that there's this that the question is not inquiry, it's something that's plagued with doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Really, the question might be reframed as, but what if I can't live this truth?
That's where the help come
Help,
in.
help. I'm believing that I can't live this truth.
Yes.
But we've had several exchanges through this platform now, and I happen to know that you've had many experiences in which you've known directly who you are.
Yes.
You've known what's true. So this added question of, can I live this truth? It's valuable to unpack, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that a bit like the sun recognizing that its inherent nature is to shine, and then it would be like the sun saying, but can I shine on things? Can I live this experience of illumination? It's experience. It's innate experience is illumination. What is it that enters to say, but can you live this? What is that?
Yeah, I mean, the trigger point is obvious for me. It has to do with choice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm embarrassed about this, but it's really how it is for me, that I doubt the choices. And it's like I think, oh, why did I make that choice?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like what is kind of surfacing for me is not to lean on these outer circumstances,
Yeah.
not to lean on all these preferences and imagined, or perhaps sometimes real, but oftentimes imagined needs.
Yeah. Because what is it that would lean on those things?
It's the old identity.
Only an old identity, only the ego, only that sense of I am a separate self and I need to see myself. So I'm going to be in relationship with these various objects, or I'm going to doubt myself, which makes me feel very real, right? It gives me an identity. It gives me form.
Mm. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what you're saying is that these doubts that torment me somehow give me a sense of reality.
Well, I'll reflect back the way you're framing it. These
Mm-hmm.
doubts that somehow torment you, give you a sense of reality. Does that feel so in this moment?
It's not to the point, but there may be some layer underneath where there is something that through this doubt is surfacing, which perhaps is a, how can we say, an inner experience or reality that has not perhaps been able to come forth fully. So in that way, yes, there is something where I know something needs to become more real, perhaps temporarily.
Yes, here's the thing that I think is really valuable. Step one, Maria. If you had, do you have a young person in your life that you project a lot of innocence onto, that you love deeply? Can you think of someone you love? Maybe they're younger.
I'm not sure.
No problem. They don't have to be younger. Sometimes it just makes it easier to access. So just picture someone you love, anyone you love, or even, someone you have loved. They don't have to still be here. But just for a moment, if you're comfortable, close your eyes and just picture them, and picture them struggling to bring something forward, something they have within them. As someone who loves them, would you ever go to them and torment them with ideas and notions? Would you plant seeds of doubt? Would you challenge their capacity to live their experience of truth?
to be honest, it has happened.
Of course it has, because we're conditioned. We're conditioned that is even a form of love. But you in this moment can stand back and see that actually was not my truest. That was not an expression of my truest knowing of love.
No.
That was coming from my own conditioned defense or pretense or
definitely
clinging to identity. Because you also know the experience of accessing love for another. You know the experience of wanting another to see through the voice of doubt, because you recognize the voice of doubt as a conditioned creation that's not useful and supportive. If there's something within Maria trying to shine forward, that voice of doubt and self-recrimination and questioning and probing with the air of you won't be able to do this, is truly unhelpful and even cruel. Think of how an artist, I know there are many potters in our community. Think of how an artist, someone there making pots on the wheel. Think of how in the zone they are when they're just there making forms. How much does it serve them to have someone behind their shoulder saying, "But will you be able to finish this pot? Will it be as beautiful as you say it will be? Do you really know what you're doing? You feel so in tune with this clay now, but will that be true later in 2 minutes?" The moment we indulge that conversation is the moment we actually feel less in tune. Because what we're in tune to now is a voice of a separate self, a compelling story, this activity of the conditioned mind. That's not bad and it's not wrong, but you are correct in naming it. You can see, when I'm there on my cushion, it feels so compelling and real. And as I name it, I recognize, at minimum, this voice will not guide me to the expression of living truth in this world. So I want to know, what does living truth in this world actually feel like when I'm not indulging that voice? That's where we'll find out. Can you feel the manifestation of truth through you, Maria, in this moment now?
Yes, I can.
What is true in this moment now?
That I rest in the heart and there is a sense of freedom. There is no real worries. Everything is very simple. Fresh breaths. Body is relaxed again and alive. And I am deeply grateful to you, Caverly. I really needed this conversation.
Yeah, I'm grateful to you too, Maria. It takes tremendous willingness to see these things for what they are. There's a kind of comfort. It's a somewhat tragic comfort that comes with just settling back into this glove of suffering fits.
Mm.
So I'll just wear it.
It was wonderful because the three angels, the strange angels, they were three angels of compassion for me. And one was dark, and it was the angel of ruthless compassion.
Mm-hmm.
And one was more like lavender gray blue, and that was the tender compassion. And then there was one that was very like an old-fashioned rose pink, which was the wise compassion.
Mm-hmm.
So I had some great assistance.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Those are the angels to be trusted right now, Maria.
Mm.
Yeah.
I felt it from the very moment I sat down with you today. It was like I just knew why I was here on the call somehow.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a blessing.
Yeah.
So precious.
It is precious, these moments of remembrance.
Mm.
Thank you for sharing yours.
Mm. Thank you.
Until next time.
Mm.
Okay, friends, we are actually just a minute away from the end of our time today. Thank you so much for coming on screen, Maria. Let's see if I can just read some of these comments before I close out. Sharon, I find myself participating in identifying with something or giving something space, distance, separation. How do you describe the inclusive, non-dual middle way? Lovely. Maybe that can be a theme for tomorrow, Sharon. What is the middle way? Thank you, Sharon. Let's see. Rosalind, I found that letting myself in the door became very moving as one of the fears transforming into healing energy. Beautiful healing energy. I love the vision of that. Fears transforming. Erica, the longing not to resist, but to be taken, guided by the wind of change. Lovely. Carolyn, thanks, Maria. Yes. Why is it that tracking there, sometimes self-tracking, keeps us small? Do you think sometimes something gets stronger as it's ready to fall away? Or is that another story I'm telling myself? Yes, yes, it is my experience that often as we're seeing through and letting go, there can be a sort of fighting for survival. It can feel like as though that sense of separation is in a sense fighting for survival. Thank you for acknowledging that. Spencer, the analogy of us being the sky and thoughts being clouds has always rung true. This morning's meditation was a gift from the unseen angels of truly being the sky. It was no longer an analogy today. Thoughts happened, they floated by without attachment. Thank you, angels. Seen and unseen. P.S. Caverly, you're one of the seen angels. Thank you, Spencer. Thanks for chiming in today. Sharon, I can't come on screen today. Okay, yes, another day. Your question, you're acknowledging that might be for another day. Thank you for that. Mimosa, me too. Jonathan, Maria, Caverly, thank you. I learned so much from the conversation. Mary Jane, me too. Gratitude. Maria, you speak for many. Lovely. Okay, friends. John and Nancy, I saw George Floyd and all the other victims of brutality. The angels knocking on the door. I think we're letting these voices in finally. Thanks, Maria. John. Okay, thank you so much, friends. Thank you, Ellen. Yes. Thank you, Nikki. Friends, thank you so much. I look forward to being here with you tomorrow. Thank you for your presence and your practice and your love.